Mike Maxwell is right here.
I am.
So I was explaining to Mike, as we were starting to get organized here, in front of Los Two Amigos in Rolling Meadows, I was explaining that last week, as we did our Facebook live stream, the Boost Mobile Facebook live stream, I accidentally hit something that caused lightning bolts to shoot out of everyone's eyes and mouths. And I was looking around, I'm like, can I reproduce that? I accidentally went live with stars coming out of Mike's
I feel
face.
like I'm a Lisa Frank folder.
I don't know how to make this stop. So I look normal. You have no one will know what you look like. You have goofy, googly eyes and starry eyes.
Protects my suburban.
Are you offended?
My suburban celebrity status. No,
I hope I didn't ruin this for you.
I've never been on Facebook Live, so this
is an awful way to start. This is an awful way to start. So you are Mike Maxwell. We're just going to roll with this.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. You are Mike Maxwell. Mike Maxwell, you are a comedian. This podcast, this episode, here in scenic Rolling Meadows, sponsored by Boost Mobile. In fact, I didn't realize this when I planned this. There's a Boost Mobile right next door.
That's good.
If it were open right now, I'd say let's just go there and hang out. That's how much fun you can have there. It's not open right now. Maybe we'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
Okay, so we are in front of this place. The reason people always ask, well, how do you pick the places you go to? Usually it's real simple. I ask my guest, hey, where do you live? And then I go on Google Maps and I say, search nearby. This is what I ended up with. Have you been here before?
I've not. I've driven by it a number of times.
All right. It's a little empty on a Tuesday night.
They're more of a delivery restaurant. I can
see that. Okay. Although I haven't seen a delivery person come in or out of here.
It's because they're so busy. They're delivering regularly.
That's exactly it. Now, we're in a strip mall here. There's a lovely Boost Mobile next door. Pawn shop, a couple doors down. I'm not going to lie. Oh, look, I've got the googly eyes and the stars now. I think anyone who's talking gets them. Oh, this is great. Hello. Okay. I got here a little early. It's a chronic issue of mine. I can never be late anywhere. But as I was waiting, the people walking by were vaguely predatory. Like, they'd walk by the car, and then they'd stop. They'd look in, and it wasn't like, oh, fun, they must be recording a podcast. It was a, what can that guy do for me?
Right. Well, I think this is the rough part of town.
Is it? Okay, they confirmed.
Yeah. I mean, there's only one brunch, place on this road. So
only one brunch place.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mike Maxwell, comedian. We got tacos. We each got Tres tacos, and they smell really good. Okay, so I got the pastor tacos.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, lots of cilantro and onion. And hello, Bobby Willis. Hello, Neil Parker. Thank you for watching.
I went with the steak. Really, I just went with the cilantro with the hint of steak. So
yeah, there's a ton of cilantro in here, isn't there?
Yeah.
We also have Jarritos, the piña Jarritos, which are a delight. Am I the top and you're the bottom, so to speak?
Whichever, yeah. Did you just call Little Spoon?
I did. Now, I'm careful. Like, you are known as a clean comedian.
Yeah.
That's your thing. That's your billing.
Yeah.
Is it a religious thing? Is it an ethical thing, or just this is my niche thing?
I think it's a niche thing. It's not a religious thing. I haven't really.
I'm like afraid to swear around you.
No, you can swear. I swear a lot off stage. No, I just I grew up watching a lot of Seinfeld, and then the first club showcase I did was Zany's, and Bert would always talk about how.
Wait, that was the first club showcase you did?
Well, my first open mic was Barrel of Laughs in Oakland, but my first.
And was it?
Yeah, no. Maybe I got like 2 laughs. But Bert would preach about, like, if you're gonna hang in there and clean makes the green, or whatever his rhyme was. That took about 9 years to pay off. But yeah,
it's a hard slog.
It is. I don't know. I still talk about adult stuff. I just don't drop. I basically just don't swear or drop F-bombs. So, like, I still talk about, like, having kids and all that other stuff. So,
parenting has to make it easier to be a comedian because you have material pouring in every day, pretty much.
Yeah, they say when you have a kid, you get another 20, and that's true. My first kid definitely got me 15 to 20, and I enjoy still doing that. I still do that as like the middle of my set, and I try to make it as kind of crowd friendly as possible, but it's best for parents, but it's still observational enough for people who can't stand kids.
This is really spicy. This is really spicy. We have citrus, though. What's that? We've got salsas.
I got the green. Do you need more?
No, I'd be insane to put anything spicy on this. This is so hot. I'm vaguely uncomfortable. All right, so how are your steak tacos?
They're good. 100% better than Taco Bell.
But Taco Bell isn't Mexican food.
No.
It is its own class, and I am a huge fan of a $5 box of food. That's the best deal in town.
But we're doing the most difficult thing, which is tacos in the car.
Mm-hmm. Mine are falling apart. This is not glamorous.
I did as I was telling you, I did like a few shows on the road this weekend.
You were nonstop on the road.
My weekends are pretty busy. Yeah, I was in Grand Rapids, then home, then Fort Wayne, and I eat
all in one weekend.
All in one weekend, and I eat a lot in the car. Pizza's easy. Sandwiches are easy.
The big slices of pizza are easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Tacos are an arrogant move. But I can get away with a cheesy gordita crunch, but those soft shells spill everywhere.
No, don't do Taco Bell in the car. You'll be hungry. You'll grab that Doritos shell.
Yeah.
And you'll want to eat it, and you'll think, oh, if I hold it sideways, maybe I can avoid it. But nope. The shredded lettuce and tomato is bound for your chest.
Yeah.
All right, so we're eating. My mouth is, no joke, aflame because this pastor is super hot. We're slowly making it through these tacos.
Yeah.
When did you start? What was the first gig? You did an open mic.
My first stand-up was in college. We were at my college was Ripon College in Wisconsin, up in like the Fond du Lac area. Mm-hmm. So that's the old Johnny B ground.
That's right.
But there was a variety show coming up, but we ran out to the first. I went to the movie theater, and I was doing just making comments about the slides, before the show. And then my friends were like, oh, they're laughing and all that, and they're like, oh, you should do the variety show. You should do some stand-up. I'm like, I've never done stand-up. I've done acting and stuff. I was like, no. I'm like, you should do it. It's Ripon. You're safe. Nothing will happen. So I signed up, and on Sunday night before the show, I did the rehearsal, went out there, and they had like the group that was putting it on had like everybody there, so there's actually like 30 people at the rehearsal.
Which doesn't sound like a bunch if you're listening, but it is.
It's a lot of people if you're going to run through something for the first time.
Right.
And so like I had practiced it by myself or whatever, and I brought my notebook on stage and I was running my jokes, and I was getting nothing.
You had your notebook on stage.
Well, it was a run through. It was a rehearsal. Uh-huh. Hey, don't be critical. And so I ate it, and I was in the middle of the joke, and I remember specifically having a transition. I go, and I'm gonna just stop now and go home and write new jokes. I'm gonna see you guys later. And I didn't even stop for anything. I just hightailed it out of the the building, went back down to the quads, told my roommate that I just ate it, and he goes, okay, so what are you gonna do? I go, I'm gonna start with new jokes, and then. From Sunday through Thursday, I wrote new stuff. He had me practice. There was no open mics in rural Wisconsin. I went up on that Friday night and I killed it. Nervously killed it. But if I ate shit two times in a row, I probably would have stopped. So,
but I mean, you're going to have nights when you bomb. I mean, even as long as you've been doing it at this point.
Totally. My wife goes, she always asks me, how was the show? I go, it ranges from this is it. This is the dream. This is everything it's supposed to be to.
I'm a hack.
It's work. Sometimes it's work telling jokes and, You
hear comics talking. This probably applies much less to you, but weird environment to be doing stand-up in. The climate, the social atmosphere. Things seem more taboo now.
Oh, everybody's butt puckers up on anything. And because I'm a clean comic, people think I'm going to roll out a bunch of church jokes. And the thing is, I'm still PG-13, so I still talk about sex, and I still talk about questionable things like homophobia or racism or poverty and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I find different filters to put it through. And And it's still, I mean, I know that I'm playing with fire in that regard
Yeah.
because they think that they're getting a little bit of a soft show, but I'm still out there kicking their shins a little bit. So it's, like some of the most basic stuff that I've been doing for a few years has gotten a little bit more puckered response because...
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, because now people go to shows to get offended. It's like it's the equivalent of going to NASCAR to watch a crash. You're like, I'm going to go watch a comedy show, not just to have a good time. That's the healthy thing.
Excuse me?
But some people go to a show to get offended so they can have outrage and get all uppity and
That's certainly my
tweet at
impression.
you or Facebook you or...
That's why I asked. That's certainly my impression. And it adds to the challenge of what you do. When you read a room like that, does that incense you to go harder with that stuff, or do you pull back?
It depends what's on the line. So if it's like if it's one of the corporate shows I'm doing, I won't push too much. But if I'm doing like a showcase or like I did a show, I often get a lot of these shows, on the road at like the Moose Lodge or the Elks Lodge or one of those things. And sometimes they're 30s up to 60s, and normally they're kind of a good beer drinking crowd who wants to have a good time. But I did one recently, and they kind of puckered up, and you just have to call them out, like, why the hell are you here?
Right.
Like, relax. This is, like, I understand half of you are, should be in bed by now, but let's finish up the show. And
Yeah. It's your night out.
Yeah.
Have a cocktail. Loosen up.
They're pouring stiff drinks. Just relax and drink the Southern Comfort, all right?
Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about Antiboss. What is that?
So I wrote a one-man show where the premise is to do a mock new hire orientation. I'm a comedian, but I've been in corporate America for like 15 years. I'm used to trying to screen out people's red flags and people's kind of lies on their resume and stuff like that. So I felt like I should flip the script and call out the lies that companies say to potential employees.
Oh my God, this is perfect.
Yeah, so the first day on the job, everybody makes a drastic life change. Changing jobs is a pretty big decision, and I wrote a show where the tagline is "It's the most honest first day of work you'll ever have," and so we go through everything. We do.
Wait, this is such a great idea. Okay, go ahead.
So if you walk in immediately, the show starts and nobody knows it. You walk in after you get your ticket or you pay, and there's a table with a name tag, which all the name tags have stereotypes in the office, from dipshit to ass kisser to diva, queen bee, baby Huey, child of Christ, functional alcoholic, just a whole list of them. Anybody that, depending what kind of people you have in your office. And then I've got a table of bagels and cream cheese, even at night, for people to have. And
Of course, because that's what you do on the first
day, you got to carb up, and then they sit down, and people don't know that it's slightly, pitched as slightly interactive. So I have some improv moments. We do 2 truths and a lie, which is the worst ice-breaking thing you could ever do at a job, where you call somebody out to say something about themselves, and they find 2 of the most boring things about themselves to say to their new coworkers. But then I go through all the stuff, like we do a virtual tour, so I walk through all the departments, talk about the policies, sexual harassment, and then I give a very real outlook on how things are with the company now that they're in, and what's going to happen when the shit hits the fan. And who goes first.
I'm starting to break out in a sweat. I'm getting anxious listening to this. All right, so this concept, Antiboss, what's next for it?
I'll be at the Comedy Shrine February 2nd and 3rd. So I've done. It started at Chicago Fringe Fest. The Chicago Reader gave it a real good review. That was a couple years back. I've had it at the Comedy Shrine, Improv Playhouse recently, and the Whip Theater in Chicago. And so we're going back to the Shrine. And I had one of the highest turnouts ever at the Shrine. I think I had like 50 or so people on one of the shows, which is great. It's a show that I've done a show. I've done the show for a small crowd of 15 or so, but the more people there, the 30 to 50 is the sweet spot for the show, because it's a total vibe of feeding off the energy of just how people feel about work. And even though you put in a full work week, this is a very cathartic or therapeutic show.
I love the concept, and it's something, everyone gets it.
Yeah, thanks. I think every department is lampooned. I pulled the reins back on HR the first go around. That was a little harsh. But yeah, everybody gets mocked. It's a very self-deprecating kind of show. So if it's perfect for anybody who's ready to laugh at themselves or at least drink their week away.
Perfect. So now, Mike, now when I talk, that's your cue to like scramble and eat food. That's how I do it. Like I'll ask a question, then when the guest starts answering, I'll scramble to shove food down my mouth. It's a tricky balance. It's a give and take here in the car. And I've already spilled all over. I've got napkins on the floor. I can't actually reach them because there's a microphone in front of me. There's always a little bit of cleanup required after one of these. Last time I saw you was at Brookfield Zoo. I was doing an event for the Loop. Now, I hadn't seen you probably for like 2 years, not since Uptown Underground.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
You know how when you see someone and you're not expecting to see them and they're out of context and you don't recognize them right away? I'm so embarrassed, but that's what happened when I saw you.
That's fine. I get it. You're a rock and roll man,
Well, no excuse. But you're like, Mike Maxwell. I'm like, oh, my God. So I felt bad. But it was an interesting day. You were emceeing a Ford event. Ford is in the automaker. And you were kind of like the guy in Mike telling people, come on over, look at these cars, look at these great deals. And you interviewed a couple Chicago Bears there. Like I was standing under a tent handing out Scorpions tickets, and you're hanging out with the Bears, like 10 feet away from you.
Yeah, that was cool. It was the best corporate show I've ever done, and also the hardest because I was there for 10 hours and it was 90-degree heat.
Oh my God, that was the hottest day.
It was the worst. Like I got there
and this was in September. It was scalding hot.
Yeah, it was when the Bears played the Steelers that weekend, so that was like week 3 or 4. And I interviewed Akeem Hicks, who was one of the coolest dudes ever. I'm like more than he's so cool. And then Richard Dent and one more of the Bears from the 85 team. So that was cool. They were super cool. The fans were there. They were cool. There were people decked out in like all this Bear like a paraphernalia. And I was
but you're a sports nerd, right?
I was just like this kid. I remember this kid was wearing Bears flannel pajamas, long sleeve shirt. Like
and again,
the Bears
it's
had
1 million degrees outside.
Yeah, it was like 95 degrees and there was not a breeze.
No.
And I was like, how is this kid not passed out next to the trucks?
I bought 2 ices that day. I never buy ices.
Yeah.
But I saw them
brutal.
there. Uh-huh. Yeah. Do you like interviewing? Do you like doing the interview?
It was fun. You could tell that a non-sports person wrote the questions.
Uh-huh.
Like,
so you had like a script.
They gave me like a binder that had like 12 questions, and I looked at them. I was like, okay, I get what you're getting at. Like, what do you think the other team's thinking? How are you going to prepare? Who are you trying to stop? Like all this. Like every time I watch a sports interview, I go, please stop asking these questions. And then I got to ask them. It was so good to be part of the cookie cutter.
So, but you went off the grid a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I went off the grid with Akeem because we were waiting to go up, and we were sitting in. I have a picture on my fan page of me and Akeem, but it was an F-250, which is the mid-sized truck, and we look like we're in the back of a Jeep Wrangler. 'Cause he's huge.
Yeah.
But so we're walking up there. I was talking about playing, the Bears on Madden and all that stuff, being a fan. And we go up there, and then I start asking him regular questions that they have scripted, and then I start asking him about like who he wants to tackle or what I think I remember I asked him. So I'm like, so how many times do you think you're going to hit, lay a hit on Roethlisberger or something like that? And he was like, and he responds, and he gets that I was like into like hearing him ready to cream the guy, right? And so he finishes the interview. He goes off and does a bunch of photos, and the crew was really nice. They're like, hey, that was good job. By the way, it'd be great if you could just stay on script. I was like,
message received.
Got it, crystal clear. I will. I got it. I will reel it back in. I will interview them like they're on the Lions. Let's do it. So
as we're recording this, we're recording this on December 5th. This past weekend, the Bears officially taken out of any playoff consideration.
Oh, it's just last week?
Well, it's official as of Sunday.
Yeah.
Are you one of those Bears fans that screams at the TV, or are you kind of a more of a silent rager?
I'm a silent rager, and I want them to. They'll be good in 3 years. So
that's what I keep saying about the White Sox.
Yeah, 2020 is gonna be great for
It's
Chicago
gonna be
sports.
amazing.
It's gonna be a good year. Yeah, I'm a silent rager. I think that man, they're just rough this year. But they're like Fox is gone. He's gone, and I could yell at some of the guys. I wish Jordan Howard would get a little bit more attention because I had him on my fantasy league and he was kind of spotty. So,
There it is.
Yeah, that's the truth behind it all. Is I had
Absolutely.
I knew going into this season that they weren't going to win more than 5 or 6 games. Yet I still get like half homer on my roster and have like 2 or 3 Bears. And you're wondering why you're going to miss the fantasy playoffs. So
You're a homer.
yeah.
All right, Mike Maxwell, I think you're very funny, very entertaining. You gave the information earlier on the Facebook live stream, but tell us again, where can we find you?
Oh, I'm over at Josephine's Martini Bar in a couple weeks, which I believe is.
If you like martinis and you like comedy,
Yeah.
here you go. This is it.
It's in
I'm
Villa
going to talk
Park.
slowly. I'm going to fill as you pull it up on your phone.
Yes, on the 21st in Villa Park, I'll be at Josephine's Martini Bar. And then in January, on the 19th, I'll be at Shaker's downtown. Well, I should say on the north side.
Awesome. And we'll keep an eye on you. I think it's going to be a great year for you.
I think so, too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hope you have a great holiday.
Thank you.
Thanks for eating tacos with me.
Thank you.
Gracias.
For the tacos.
I guess is
De
more.
nada.